Okay guys, so I recently picked up MSI Claw, and I just want to talk about the State of PC handles now that I've owned one and experienced one temporarily. Now, I will be returning the handle because honestly, I'm just not too pleased with the state right now, and I'll get into why. Well, let's get into the handle I got in the competition. So I ended up picking up MSI Claw, and I got it for around $380. It's one of the last gen MSI Claws, and it was brand new out of the box, so everything was nice, crisp, and everything. So first thing out of the box, the setup was such a chore to get through. It was so annoying to be able to navigate through all of that. At some points, I literally had to put in a USB mouse or USB keyboard to get through it. It was really annoying. I didn't really expect that. I mean, I heard people say that PC handles, navigating them is a nightmare, but I didn't expect it to be that bad. Or okay, setup is a thing you're gonna do one time in the entirety of owning the system. More than likely, you might do it a couple of times, but you're not gonna be doing it every single day, really even monthly. The unfortunate thing with the MSI Claw is that some competitors do have a little trackpad built into them, like the Steam Deck or the Legion Go, and that would have been so much easier to navigate if I had one of those, but unfortunately I didn't, but I'm not going to take away because of it. I'm talking about PC handles as a whole, so let's not focus on the MSI Claw for right now. Now, performance can be as I expected. I got a last gen MSI Claw, so don't expect much here, for me at least. The battery life was way worse than I thought it would be. I think that's just the main issue with PC handles. I'll get into battery life deeper, but I think that's just the number one thing plaguing these things so hard. And then there's obviously price to performance, but let's get into that later. I'm just going to finish my story in the MSI Claw. So I'm loving it. I really wanted to love it and keep it, but I decided to return it. And I would know what a bad experience on games is, obviously. I was a Nintendo gamer primarily on the Switch for a pretty long time now, and I decided to upgrade not from the Switch to 2. And decided to get the MSI Claw instead. So I know what bad frame rates and bad quality and bad graphics are. Speaking of my Claw being quote-unquote last gen, my Claw isn't even that old. It only released in 2024. What year are we in right now? 2025. And it's not just MSI doing that. Every company besides like Steam out there is releasing a handheld pretty much every single year. And it feels like the prices just keep going up. We've all seen the infamous Legion Go 2 pricing at $1,500 when you could probably buy like a Switch 2 and a really good $1,000 PC, pre-built or not, and have just as much fun as you would on that Legion Go. Or no, maybe you really want the OLED screen. Maybe you can get a slightly cheaper PC or maybe no Steam Deck at all or Switch 2 and invest in an OLED monitor. You're going to have a way better experience, obviously, but we're not here to compare desktops to handhelds. Desktops are obviously going to win, alright? The Legion Go 2 is a great handheld, but it's just such a steep price, and nobody really wants to pay that, especially for a handheld which for most people is really just a secondary device. For me personally, this was going to be my primary device that I was going to play most of my games on, so this is why I'm thinking so heavily on it. Speaking of price and performance, it's just not even close, dude. $1,500 for something that performs like the Legion Go 2 is just not worth it at all. Like, I do find it a bit ridiculous how these companies are just releasing such expensive handhelds. And they're doing it every year, and Steam is the only one that understands this technology is not evolving this fast to be releasing a handheld every single year, and for it to be efficient to even do so, to even have numbers that actually make sense to be able, should I actually upgrade from my last gen and upgrade to this new one? Steam is holding off on releasing a Steam Deck 2 for a while because the technology just is not ready yet. And I really do think every other competitor needs to take notes on that. The competition never slows down, I guess, so whatever. And one of the things about battery life just sucking is also falls into the umbrella of the technology just isn't evolving enough. Battery life is going to suck, right? And if we want more powerful hardware, it's going to need to suck more battery. And we're probably going to get to a point where it's like 15, 30-minute battery life. At that point, what are we really doing? What is the point of the handle at that point? We want to be able to sit on our couch and just relax and play, or maybe sit on the airport and relax and play. Having that short of a battery life just does not make sense at all. It's not really a handle at that point. Sure, it's in your hands, but you're tethered to a wall at pretty much all times, unless you want to go your 15-minute bathroom break in the bathroom without a charger. Sure, you could do that. So the only way we can get powerful handhelds is if we sacrifice more battery life. But battery life is already as poor as it is. That's one of the weakest points about these handhelds and what's drawing people away from these handhelds. And more to things like the Switch 2. The Switch 2 also has a bad battery, but it's pretty power efficient, and I bet they'll probably release a Switch 2 V2 that has a bigger battery and a more efficient processor, just like they did with the Switch 1. And I'm going to stop comparing it to the Switch 2 for now, although that is what I am going to get instead of this MSI Claw, which is what I'm returning it for. Because I said it before, and I'll say it again, PC handhelds handhelds and the Switch 2 are for two different audiences for the most part. And battery life just isn't easy to compare on both these because battery life on Switch 2, it's very power efficient because it uses an ARM processor, which if you're unaware is the same processor used on your phones. So we got the three amigos right here: navigation, battery life, and just the technology not being there was putting PC handles in this state. Now, there is good news on the navigation part, which will probably negate this section of the video. With the ROG Xbox Ally line, Windows or Microsoft, they should be able to release a new image for Windows to be able to download all these handhelds to make Windows more friendlier to these controllers and handhelds. It definitely won't be locked to the Xbox ROG Ally thingy, and if it is, that is a really ridiculous mistake. At that point, most people will probably go to SteamOS because, well, you don't have all that issues there. The whole reason doing this is because, well, Linux will probably have a takeover in this section, and they don't want that happening, along with the fact that they're also partnering with a handheld PC company. So, not company, but a company releasing handheld PCs. Now, if you've ever owned a handheld PC or own one right now or want to own one, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Every view will have different views. Someone may have a completely different view to me, and it'd be very interesting to see their side of the story. Because less tech-savvy people won't be going for these, but I consider myself pretty tech-savvy. I just don't want to sit there tinkering with stuff for like 40 minutes on end. I just want to be able to click my game and play it for a couple minutes, or maybe a couple hours, sit down, maybe with my friends and family, and that'd be fun and fine. Maybe someone with a little bit more time on their hands, or just more willingness to configure things in order to get exactly what they want, and to not be locked to certain storefronts and stuff, is going to argue for the fact that, yeah, PC handhelds are the move right now, which I think they could be so great in the future. Just right now, it's not looking too great. Anyways, I kind of hope that I actually regret recording this video right here, and later down the line, I end up picking up another better PC handheld to be able to play my games on, because by that point, the technology is going to advance, and it's going to be a way better experience. I think that'll only happen once casuals get into the market, and the Xbox ROG Ally is pretty much the thing that can do that, so hopefully that goes well, and we'll see a huge push for these handheld PCs. But for now, only time can tell, God can tell. I love y'all, God bless y'all, and have a nice day, or night, depends on when you're watching this. Bye bye.